Before the polls opened, before the debates heated up, America had made a choice between two batches of cookies. But could simple family cookie recipes really predict the outcome of presidential elections? They might. Now let's go back in time and recreate the first First Lady Bake-Off. The First Lady Bake-Off began in 1992 by two of the most loved First Ladies by people on both sides of the aisle, Barbara Bush and Hillary Clinton. So I'm going to start off with Hillary Clinton's oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. Now, to no surprise, this whole competition in 1992 began with Hillary Clinton and in quite a bit of controversy. While Bill was on the campaign trail, Hillary was asked a question with a little bit of criticism about her career, to which she said, "I suppose I could have stayed at home and baked cookies and had teas, but what I decided to do was fulfill my profession." Well, that remark didn't sit well with everyone. Many saw as dismissive of traditional domestic roles, especially those often associated with the First Lady. The comment fueled a broader conversation about the role of women and the expectations placed on them. So, this bit of controversy from her remarks, it really was starting to look pretty bad, and PR-wise, it seemed that getting her image a little bit closer to traditional expectations might be a good thing. So they thought that this baking competition would be a nice way to give her a little bit of a softer image, and it's probably a good thing because, as we know, she can come off to be about as soft as a porcupine. So we're just starting off here with just the dry ingredients. What her recipe calls for is 1.5 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of baking soda. And by the way, that flour is specific in the recipe to be unsifted. And of course, I bought a little mesh sifter thinking I was gonna have to do that, and you know, that's how that goes. When you need it, you don't have it. When you have it, you don't need it. So let me get these dry ingredients blended up, and then we'll just work on the wet. All right, so before I go any further, let me preheat the oven to 350. Let's start working on these wet ingredients, which calls for a scary amount of Crisco. We're gonna do 1 cup of Crisco, which seems like it's half of this tub. Ugh. My grandmother would be proud. My Grandma Tiny, as we call her, always cooked with plenty of butter and bacon grease and Crisco, and everything she made was just delicious. All right, I'm gonna kind of pack it in here. It's just a little bit more. And, well, that's not working. Pack it in to get it out. All right. Now we need 1 cup of light brown sugar. 1 packed cup of light brown sugar. There we go. And 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar. We're gonna mix this together until creamy. Not sure if a whisk was the best idea for this. It's actually probably the worst idea, so darn. All right, let's see. So we're gonna mix this up until it is nice and creamy. Kind of pushing it against the side here of the bowl really helps. I could use my hands, I just don't really want to use my hands right now. And one last thing I forgot to add was a teaspoon of vanilla extract. That is, vanilla extract. Now it's that little bit of vanilla is really helping this cream up. And now we're gonna add 2 eggs. So now back to the whisk. This is nice and creamy, kind of a consistency of peanut butter. We're gonna start slowly, it says, to add in the flour, well, the flour mixture, the dry mixture. I know I could really do for a whole bunch of equipment in this kitchen. So I really need to start putting some things on that list for Santa, because I just feel like I'm making a lot of this stuff very difficult. And a mixer, that's definitely up there on the list. I am making such a mess right now. And I'm only 1 cookie recipe in. Once again, hating this whisk. All right, that's good enough. Now it calls for, I believe, a cup, 2 cups, preheated, 2 cups of rolled oats. Let's get that in here. One, 2, and then I think there's chocolate chips. It's got to be chocolate chips in this recipe. Oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. 1 package. One package of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And we're gonna mix this all together. Let's try this. You know what? I realized I just gotta go into it, because it's the only way I'm gonna be able to really get this all mixed up nicely. This kills me. For those that really know me, I hate having my hands, sticky things on my hands. It's just, I really, ugh. So now I'm just going to make little well-rounded teaspoon balls of these. Now I'm curious, First Lady Bakeoff is no longer done. The last one was Melania against Hillary Clinton. But if it did happen today, what cookies do you think would be made? What do you think would be the Trump cookie? And what do you think would be the Harris cookie? And whose would win? I'm curious. Leave in the comments what ingredients would be used, who would win. Please keep it civil. Or don't. I really don't care. I'm trying to make these even where it's not like one cookie that has 20 chocolate chips and another one that has like 2. It's kind of hard. I did mix it well, but all right, I think I'm putting too many cookies on a one tray here. Should have stop right there, get these in the oven. It says 10 to 12 minutes. I'll check it in 10. Middle rack. Get these out, and they actually look really nice. I'm just gonna let these cool for a bit. Now, I did mention that in 2016, that was the last First Lady Bake-Off. Well, it's kind of a simple reason why. Family Circle went out of business in 2019, sadly. Now, let's go back and look at some of these cookies and the results, because what's interesting is there kind of was this predicting effect. Whoever ended up winning the First Lady Bake-Off, well, their husband usually ended up winning the election. So people started using the First Lady Bake-Off as a predictor for the presidential election. So let's look at some of these First Lady Bake-Offs, the cookies that were made, if the cookie was chosen, and if that First Lady's husband made it to the presidency. So in 1992, you had Hillary Clinton submitting her oatmeal chocolate chip cookies versus Barbara Bush's cowboy cookies. Well, it was Hillary Clinton's that won. And the election winner? Well, it was Bill. In 1996, Hillary yet again submitted those oatmeal chocolate chip cookies versus Elizabeth Dole and her pecan rolls. The election winner? Bill Clinton. The chosen cookie? Those were Hillary's. In 2000, Laura Bush submitted her cowboy cookies versus Tipper Gore, who submitted the ginger snap cookies. The election winner there was George W. Bush. Were those cookies chosen? Yeah, those cowboy cookies were chosen. In 2004, Laura Bush again submitted the Bush family cowboy cookies against Teresa Heinz Kerry, who submitted her pumpkin spice cookies. Well, those pumpkin spice cookies were ill-received. Cowboy cookies took the crown again, and George W. Bush was yet again elected. In 2008, Cindy McCain submitted her butterscotch oatmeal cookies versus Michelle Obama's shortbread cookies. It was the butterscotch oatmeal cookies that were selected by the popular vote in Family Circle. Unfortunately, that is not how the election played out, and Barack Obama took the presidency. In 2012, Michelle Obama submitted her white and dark chocolate chip cookies, and Ann Romney submitted her M&M cookies. The election winner this time around was Barack Obama, and it was the white and dark chocolate chip cookies that won. Sadly, in 2016, the last of the Family Circle bake-offs, you had Melania Trump submitting her star cookies versus Bill Clinton's chocolate chip cookies, well, the same oatmeal chocolate chip cookies that he submitted on behalf of Hillary. Who is the election winner? Donald Trump, as we all know. And which cookies were chosen? Well, it was not the sugar cookies, and it was Hillary's oatmeal chocolate chip cookies that won. But what's interesting about this is out of the 7, only those 2 were not the election predictions. So this was kind of a good way to predict who was going to become president. Now, I don't know if there's any science behind that. I mean, after all, it is just cookies. But it was a nice way of bringing a little bit of lightheartedness to the election process, which I don't know about you, I would really like to have today. Okay, so now for Barbara Bush's chocolate chip cookies, which I may have said cowboy cookies before, but for her chocolate chip cookies, it's going to be slightly different. So for hers, she wants sifted flour, 1 cup of sifted flour. Nice, nice. This is how I want this to work. And 1/2 teaspoons of baking soda and salt. Half teaspoon baking soda and a half teaspoon of, what? Oh wait, every time I have something new here as I'm recording. There we go. There we go. Half teaspoon of kosher salt. Use this, mix it together, and we're gonna set this aside. And in a larger bowl, we're gonna mix the wet ingredients. And into a large bowl, we're doing a half cup of butter, a third cup of brown sugar, and then a third cup of the granulated sugar, along with 1 egg. So I'm gonna pack that in. There's the brown sugar. Granulated sugar. And let's get 1 egg. And I'm going to use a fork to beat this together. It does say to use an electric mixer, but it's getting close to midnight and I don't want to wake up my 3.5-year-old that is going to be a monster to try and get back to bed. And you know what? This is working really nice. Butter's nice and soft, so it's not an issue. As you see, it's come together really nice. A little bit lighter color than the one that Hillary had. Of course, there is no vanilla extract in this yet. So now I'll add in the vanilla, 1/2 teaspoon, 1/2, a half. And then what's really unique to this is we're gonna be adding 1.5 teaspoons of hot water. All right, so 1.5. Mix that in, and weirdly, it just kind of looks like it's almost curdling a little bit. That's bizarre. And now I'm going to slowly beat in the flour mixture. I will not be using a whisk this time. All right, I'm losing my patience, so. I can't do it. I can't do it without getting flour everywhere. Whew. Arm's getting a little tired. Oh, wow. Last but not least, the most important part of a chocolate chip cookie. Also would have helped preheat the oven for this one, 375 degrees Fahrenheit. The whole bag. Again, full rounded teaspoons of these. The outcome of this was 55 to 45 Hillary's versus Barbara's. Put it on the middle rack again. And it said 10 minutes or golden brown. Yeah, there we go. And again, I will take them off. Ouch. So, we're finally finished with the two cookies here. We have Hillary Clinton's oatmeal chocolate chip and Barbara Bush's chocolate chip. Again, these won 55 to 45. Let me see what I think. Really nice. I like the oatmeal in those. I didn't think I was going to. I like the traditional chocolate chip cookies. Let me clean my palette here. You can instantly tell that these are made with butter. Man, that is really a hard choice. Before I tell you which one I like best, I'll tell you this. This whole First Lady Bake-Off, every year it was done, was controversial. There were so many people that would get upset, saying that this took women back 100 years. And then critics on both sides of the aisle were just really up in arms over a simple cookie baking little competition. But I get it. I kind of get it, but I don't know, just have fun. Oh, really, I'm just trying to buy time to figure out which one I like best. The Clinton family oatmeal chocolate chip recipe takes it. Barbara's chocolate chip cookies are fantastic. And they really are good. It's just, these are so light, chocolatey. The oatmeal is just that little something different. It doesn't, like I could eat like 10 of these. I feel like I could only eat a couple of these because they're just almost too rich. It's a great dessert, but this just, in one of the reviews I read about these, the word delicate was used. I get it. They are quite delicate. It's a shame they don't do this anymore. It was a fun and relatable way to appeal to the voters. If there is any kind of publication that would want to bring it back, I'm in full support. But thank you guys for listening. And again, subscribe, hit the like button, drop a comment, and let me know what you think that Trump cookie would be. And the Harris cookie.